Guys, we're talking fascia today, so you know me. I'm more of the type to teach you how to fish than keep giving you fish all the time. So as opposed to recording like 40 different videos on how to do each individual muscle, I want to talk a little bit about the technique, the philosophy behind it, and if you have any specific questions, hey, how do I get my this, or that, just ask me. I'll be happy to make another more specific video. So I'll just start off giving an easy example here. Something you see people doing a lot is rolling their legs out. It's a big muscle. They get real sore, so it makes sense. But what you see a lot is people going back and forth over the muscle. Now, this has its place, but you don't want to just do this because what I'm doing here is actually further cementing the fascia to my muscle, to my bone, I should say. So what I would do instead is you're going to do this until you find that really sensitive area. So you go back and you're like, ooh, that part really hurts. So you're going to stay right there. You're going to apply as much of your body weight as you can to it. And now what you're going to do is move that muscle through a range of motion. So since it's my hamstring right now, I want to internally rotate my hip, externally rotate my hip, internally rotate my hip, externally rotate my hip, do a few foot circles, extend, and flex my knee a little bit. And now just like a static stretch, you want to maintain that pressure for like 30 seconds. I will now completely let up the pressure. You should feel, a little bit more circulation, feel things break up a little bit, wait like 5 to 10 seconds in between. And now you're going to go ahead and do another one. So I'll go back and forth. Okay, man, okay, that spot's really sore. I'll go ahead, internally rotate, externally rotate, etc. Bend and straighten my leg if I can. About 30 seconds of that, and then you let up the pressure. So it doesn't really matter. I'll give another example here, like my hands. Hands for sure get beat up in jiu-jitsu. So same thing here, where I'm going to kind of like find the area, like my thumbs for me are always very sore. So I'm going to get all that weight on my thumb muscle, and I'm going to move it through a range of motion. Let me see. Probably can't see it too well, but what I'm doing right here is wiggling my fingers, grabbing with my palm and releasing, grabbing and releasing. Same thing, about 30 seconds of pressure. Fully extend, and then let up your weight right there. So just to rehash, 30 seconds of pressure, don't move around, keep the pressure, and move that muscle through a range of motion. I'll give another example here. Let me grab my handy-dandy baseball. For this one, I'm going to be targeting my traps. I'm actually going to stand against the wall. So let me move this camera real quick. There we go. So another classic example, the traps are often tight when you have a desk job. So here's another easy thing right here. It's going to go against the wall. I'm going to lean backwards against it and kind of find that area. Like right now I can feel like, boom, I just hit a muscle knot. So same thing here where I want to move my trap through a full range of motion. So I'm going to start with my hand down at my side, and I'm actually going to go one hand width at a time. And I'm going to keep turning until I get to 90 degrees. Now I will bend my elbow and extend. I'm going to bring it back 90 degrees, extend, bring it back over my head, and extend right there. I'll bring it back to neutral, and nice and slowly, I'm going to turn my palm up and my palm down and go all the way back down to neutral. At which point you're going to let up that pressure. Hopefully you feel a little bit more circulation, feel a little bit looser, and then that's how you're going to do it. Maybe 2 to 3 different spots on each different muscle group. So I'd recommend 20 minutes at night. I would typically recommend to do it at night because for me, it kind of makes me tired. Like I feel like it releases some toxins, or that sounds a little bro sciencey, but it releases certain things, certain enzymes that for me makes me sleepy. So I like to do it, before bed or before I take a nap. And yeah, like I said, just try to apply that same principle to each area that you're going to work on. And if you have a more specific question, hey, how do I get my hips? How do I get my whatever? Just feel free to reach out and I can provide further explanation.